Hey guys, it's Chelsea here. I am more than halfway through on my first week of Weight Watchers, and it's going really, really well. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about like 3 key things that I've been focusing on this week to kind of get me through this first week and to set me up for success. Now, you guys may not be like me, but for me, I'm busy. I have no time. I've got 3 small kids. My husband works night shift. 2 of the kids are in soccer. I work 40 hours a week. When I get up in the morning at 5:45, I am go, 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 go until the kids are in bed until 8 o'clock. And so there is very little room for improvisation because everything's scheduled. And so when I get to the point where I am hungry, I will like gorge myself. And so I really wanted to keep that from happening this week, obviously. And so preparation was key. And so I started thinking to myself, where are my issues? And for me, daytime eating is not an issue. I'm an emotional eater. I'm a stress eater. But when I'm busy, I don't eat. And so at work, unless there's, cupcakes and birthdays, which there is, but for the most part at work I can generally work through my day. It's when I get home and we're late for something and we need to go get some fast food and I go ahead and I get the the Big Mac or an entire pizza. That's where I start to fail. And so for me, it's making sure 2 things. One, that I'm not so hungry when I get home that I just eat everything in sight. And so breakfast and lunch, I got to make sure that I eat a good breakfast and a good lunch. But I need to make sure that it's not so many points that I can't, that dinner becomes a problem. So generally I don't eat breakfast. I'm not hungry when I first wake up in the morning. But if I don't eat breakfast, then I eat a big lunch, and that's going to be a lot of points. So this tip actually came to me from a friend who actually, she does Weight Watchers. I was on keto at the time. This Premier Protein Shake, I'm sure you guys have seen them. You get a 4-pack at Walmart for like $7. And normally I'm not one to drink my calories because I would rather save my calories and my points for actual food. But this is only 2 points on green. I don't know how many points it is on everything else, but on green this is only 2 points. And I have found that when you drink one of these in the morning, I can eat a smaller lunch and then still be satisfied so that I have plenty of points so that I can pretty much eat anything for dinner. It gives me a lot of extra flexibility in the evening when I need it. So I've been starting my day with this. Now, so the friend who recommended this to me, she said, Chelsea, this is how I'm successful. You're gonna wanna sip on it just a little bit at a time. Just like drink it really, really slowly. And sip on it, because if you're not used to it, you're just going to want to sip on it. Now, I am capable of like reading between the lines if I'm focused, but if I am not focused, I do not read between the lines. So I'm just going to be really clear. This is going to clean your system out. If you have not drunk this before, the first couple of times that you drink it, you might want to do it at home on the weekend. That's all I'm saying. It's not pretty. But after you've drunk a couple, I think it's probably the sugar additive that's in there. Like, anyway, it's gonna clean you out. It could probably be used instead of prune juice if somebody gets constipated. I mean, it's bad, but it fills you up. So this is how I start my day. I'm used to it now, so no more of that. But that has been key, because by the time lunchtime comes around, I can then handle. Okay, now let's talk about lunch. Ideally, I will take leftovers from the night before, my Weight Watchers meal, 8 to 15 points. I will take leftovers from the day before to work and have that for lunch. That is my ideal. That has not happened once this week, because what has happened is I set my alarm for 5:45, I hit snooze 3 times, I wake up, we're running late, kids are gonna be late for school. I'm running around making sure that everybody has got their shoes on and their backpack, and now that there's, a pandemic going on, I've got to make sure he's got his face mask and his separate toy to take to recess and his drinks, these separate water bottles. And so there is just so much to do to get out the door. Like, I'm lucky to get my hair and makeup done. Like, there are times when I come to work and I'm not looking great. Well, let me tell you, I keep makeup in my bag for emergencies. Anyway, I digress. That to say, it is lucky if I get out the door with all this on. I am probably not going to remember to grab my lunch. I'm going to forget. I'm going to forget. So what I have done this to make sure that I am successful this week is I went to the grocery store and I bought a ton of frozen dinners. They're gross, guys. They're not gross. I mean, you can eat them. They're edible. They're edible. But they're there. So that way, at lunchtime, when I'm hungry, I am not tempted to go to Wendy's and spend money or McDonald's. And now, Weight Watchers is great. I've been looking at some of those points associated with some of those fast food things, and there's definitely some things on there that I could eat. But this is saving me time. And if I can get a quick 30-minute lunch in, and eat it at work and just microwave it from the freezer, then that means I can leave work 30 minutes early and have more time to be less stressed at night. So for me, time is key. If I can save time, it is worth eating something that is, I'm not like looking forward to eating this throughout the day, but it's edible. And I think this is maybe 8 points. 8 points for this one. I can eat as high. I literally will go to the grocery store and just see which of those life cuisines, lean cuisines, any of those. So far, everything has been under 13 points. I have 34 points to eat in a day. So if I've got 2 points for breakfast, and let's say that this is 13 points, then I have got 19 points for dinner. That's gonna be like, I'm not gonna fail that day. So for me, I keep my points low for breakfast and lunch, so I have plenty of points to eat at night. And that's been working for me this week. Now, there may come a time where I'm like, I'm tired of this, I need to move on, but right now, it is working. But it requires planning, because I have to make sure that I have the shakes and I have those lunches at work. And I just keep them at work. Like, I don't try to bring them from home. I like go to the grocery store on a lunch break or whenever. I go to the grocery store and I buy like 10 of them, and they are in my freezer at work. Now, you may not have space at work to be able to do that, but fortunately, working in an office environment, I do. So that's really helpful for me. So let's talk about dinner. As a busy mom, sometimes dinner for me, like I get home maybe sometimes at 5:15 is usually when I get home. My husband leaves at 6 o'clock for work. So I've got 45 minutes to get dinner on the table. If this is something that I want to be able to eat on my diet, then I need to prepare for that. And so meal planning is key. And I've this week I did it, and I'm going to continue to do it. I literally have to sit down on the weekend when I have the time, and sometimes it takes up to an hour to 2 hours to sit down and really plan out my meals. And it's more than just finding the meals. And Weight Watchers has been great. I was able to go through the app and find some good meals, and I've had a couple of duds this week, and I had a couple of really, really good recipes. So I'm going to share those in future videos. But for me, it's not just about planning the menu and knowing what we're going to eat. It's also planning when I'm going to cook the food. So for example, this Wednesday, I had a crock pot meal planned. So I came home at lunch and prepped that. And then on Thursday, I knew that we were gonna have soccer practice starting at 6 o'clock. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get home till like 5:15. And so Wednesday night, I prepped the pasta bake that I was gonna make so that I could just slip it in the oven, or even call my husband, and actually that's what I did, is I called my husband and say, hey, put this in the oven. That's all you have to do, just put this in the oven. And so that's the kind of planning, like that's the kind of very, very, very detailed planning that I'm talking about, that I have to do in order to be successful. And it's hard. It's hard to sit down and spend the time, because it's the weekend and I want to, read my books and play with my kids. But at some point, I have to understand that, my health is important and I am important, and it's worth the time up front to be prepared so that I'm not completely stressed out. So, and then I will even on my little menu plan, whatever, Chelsea, remember to take out the chicken this morning. So remembering that not only do you have to plan your menu, but you also have to plan when you're going to cook it, when you're going to thaw it, when you're gonna prep it. So that's been my plan this week, and it's worked, and it was a lot of time up front. I probably spent probably at least an hour on Sunday getting that all planned out. But once the plan was in place, I just followed it, and it was so easy. So anyway, those are kind of the 3 key strategies that I've been focusing on this week, and they've really been helping. So thanks for tuning in to see me this week, and I will see you guys again on Monday for weigh-in day. So thank you, and if you have any good Weight Watchers recipes that you've really enjoyed that's been helpful for your family, leave them below in the comments, because I am testing them all out. See you soon.